Picture a normal morning. The alarm hits at 6:30 a.m. You're 42 years old. You open your eyes and the first thing you feel is weight. Not physical weight, no. It's the crushing weight of knowing you have to go back to a place you hate, to a soul-sucking job just to pay off credit cards for things that are already in a landfill. You look in the mirror and see a tired man staring back. You've got a mortgage with 15 years left on the clock, a used car that's falling apart, and a bank account sitting at zero. And you ask yourself, where did I go wrong? Why are some people living their best lives on private islands while I'm just counting the days until my next paycheck? You didn't kill your future today, you killed it 20 years ago. At that exact moment when you thought you had all the time in the world, when 40 felt like old age and someone else's problem. Today, we're taking a brutal tour of your future. I'm going to show you the math behind your mistakes. We'll break down how one wrong move at 20 costs you millions at 40. Your youth is the most expensive loan you ever took from your older self. And right now, I'm going to show you how to stop digging your own grave with a dessert spoon. My name is the Wall Street Beaver. On this channel, we chew through financial science and build a dam of assets so the stream of garbage from the economic system doesn't wash you down the toilet of history. Today's gonna hurt, but it's gonna be worth it. Grab a calculator and a sedative. Let's get it. The first and most treacherous mistake. I call it the I'll start later curse. At 20, there's a virus in your head whispering, relax, you've got forever. Why skip the new iPhone now? When you hit 30, you'll be on your feet, you'll be the boss, and you'll save in 1 year what would take 5 years now. Sounds like a plan? Wrong. It's a trap that snaps shut when you least expect it. You think you're just delaying your investments. In reality, you're cranking the game difficulty from beginner to God mode. Let's run the numbers on your wait and see approach. Imagine the goal. Retire at 50 with a $300,000 nest egg or 30 million rubles. This is the amount that buys you true freedom. Villas, cocktails, and a passive income of about $3,000 to $4,000 a month. We're looking at a steady 15% annual return. Suddenly, you wake up at 40 and realize, damn, I'm getting old and I'm broke. You've only got 10 years left. Brace yourself. Your monthly contribution is now $1,100. You have to cough up over $1,000 every single month just to catch up to the student who was putting away $40. You backed yourself into a corner. At 20, you could have bought your freedom for the price of a pair of sneakers. At 40, you'd practically have to sell a kidney to buy that same freedom. Do you see the tragedy here? Math doesn't care about your excuses. Every year you wait doesn't just push the finish line back, it makes your backpack exponentially heavier. At 20, you're hiking with an empty pack. At 30, you're hauling a sack of potatoes. At 40, you're trying to drag a concrete slab up Everest, and chances are you're going to snap. Start today even if you only have $10. It's better to carry a grain of sand now than a boulder later. The second mistake is the social status trap, or to put it simply, when looking rich is more important than actually being rich. At 20, your self-esteem is as volatile as Bitcoin. You're desperate to prove to the world that you're a player. Marketers know this. They've hardwired a chip into your brain that says you are what you own. And that's when you make the fatal move, buying liabilities that drain your pockets with money you don't even have. It's a classic story, the first car. A 22-year-old gets a job making $2,000 a month. What's his first move? He signs a high-interest loan for a used BMW or a shiny new import. The payment is $600. Add gas, insurance, and maintenance, and that's another $400. Suddenly, this car is eating 50% of his take-home pay. He doesn't drive the car, he works for the car. He's a slave to a piece of scrap metal. But that's only half the tragedy. A car is a depreciating asset. It loses value every single second. In 5 years, his dream ride will be worth half what he paid, while he's paid back double the price in interest. It's a double robbery. At 40, this guy will realize if he had just taken the bus and invested that $1,000 a month in 5 years, he'd have a $75,000 nest egg. That's a down payment on a house or the seed money for a massive business. Instead, all he has is a rust bucket and memories of blasting bass in the neighborhood. It's the same with tech. Buying a flagship iPhone on credit when you're broke isn't a choice, it's a diagnosis. It's financial insanity. You're buying a phone that will be obsolete in a year while paying the bank 30% interest. You're trying to look rich while working overtime to stay poor. Real wealthy people in their 20s often look like bums. They take the bus, they wear basic clothes because every spare cent goes into the furnace of compound interest. They're building a dam while you're buying bottled water, standing right next to a river. From the day you were born, they fed you the same lie. Study hard, get a stable job, and you'll be set for life. So at 20, you waste 5 prime years chasing a degree you don't even care about. You study law or accounting just because your parents told you to. You walk out of college at 23 with zero real-world skills, a fancy piece of paper, and a massive ego. You take a $2,500 a month office job just to get some experience, and you get stuck. This is the average salary trap. You earn just enough for rent and groceries, so you settle. You stop learning. You assume your career will just grow on its own. But listen up, it's 2026. The world has changed. AI, automation, global crises. Your stable desk jockey job is the first one headed to the slaughterhouse. The real mistake is playing it safe at 20. You're too scared to start a business, too scared to go freelance, too scared to move cities or countries. You choose security, but choosing security at 20 is choosing poverty at 40. While you're sitting in a climate-controlled office pushing papers, your peer is out there in the trenches. He's grinding in sales, he's failed at 2 startups, he's learned to edit high-end video or write code, he's taking hits, but he's building social capital and real-world survival skills. By 30, he has the scars and the expertise to thrive. You just have a decade of experience sitting in a chair. At 40, you'll be fired because some 20-year-old with ChatGPT can do your job faster and cheaper. You'll be a corporate dinosaur in a market that doesn't need you. Your degree will be nothing more than a coaster for your coffee mug. Invest in your brain, not in credentials. Hard skills are the only currency that never devalues. Now we're touching the ultimate taboo. At 20, your hormones are driving the bus. You've got butterflies in your stomach. You're in love, and you move in together. Then comes the wedding, usually on a high-interest credit card, just to keep up appearances. You don't talk about money because it's unromantic. You think love is all you need, but love doesn't pay the mortgage. Mistake number 1, picking a partner with a different financial DNA. You're a saver, they're a spender. You want to invest, they want a luxury vacation in Dubai. At 20, you think, we'll change each other. No, you won't. By 40, this leads to a messy divorce, and a divorce will liquidate your net worth faster than any market crash. Splitting assets, alimony, legal fees, the stats are brutal. Men can lose up to 50% of their wealth in a divorce and spend decades trying to recover. The 5th mistake, and the one nobody thinks about at 20, is neglecting your body. At 20, your body is a free gift. Nothing hurts, a hangover lasts an hour, and you can grind on 4 hours of sleep. You exploit this resource without mercy. Fast food, energy drinks, booze, no sleep, and a sedentary lifestyle. You think, I'll skip the dentist and buy a new phone instead. Why hit the gym? I'm naturally thin. But your body is a biological machine, and you're skipping the maintenance. At 40, the bill is going to arrive, and it's going to be massive. Your teeth. Fixing a cavity at 20? That's $100. Getting an implant at 40 because your tooth rotted out? That's $5,000. Your back, strengthening your core at the gym? Maybe $500 a year. Treating a herniated disc and visiting specialists at 40? Thousands of dollars and constant, soul-crushing pain. Your stomach, your heart, your arteries, everything you saved by eating cheap junk in your youth, you'll pay back to Big Pharma with interest in your 40s. Medical inflation is the highest in the world. Meds get more expensive faster than Bitcoin. A sick person can't be a wealthy person. You won't have the energy to hustle. Your mind won't be on growth strategies. It'll be on where it hurts today. Your body is your primary asset. Without it, your millions are just numbers in an app that your heirs will enjoy while you're gone. Why do we make all these mistakes? Are we just stupid? No. At 20, your brain is basically a junkie. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for long-term planning, isn't fully wired until you're 25. Meanwhile, your limbic system, which screams for instant gratification, is running at full throttle. The banks know this. That's why they shove credit cards with 0% intro periods down your throat at every corner. That's why every marketplace offers buy now, pay later, and split payments. They've hacked your biology. When you hit that buy button, you get a hit of dopamine. You feel like a hunter who just brought down a mammoth. But the mammoth is virtual. The debt is real. In your 20s, you're hardwiring your neural pathways. If you get used to numbing stress with shopping, you're doomed. At 40, when the stakes are higher, kids, career, health, you'll spend even more. You'll become a shopaholic. You'll be sprinting on a consumer treadmill, increasing your speed just to stay in the exact same place. The only way to hack the system is to get your dopamine from something else, from watching the numbers grow on your brokerage account, from killing a debt, from mastering a new language. Rewire your brain while it's still plastic. Later it'll be too late. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. What's the price of waking up? Let's go back to that 42-year-old man from the start of this video. Do you know what his biggest regret is? It's not that he didn't earn enough, it's that he pissed away his opportunities. At 20, you hold the most valuable asset in the universe, time and a low baseline. You can live on $500 a month and be happy. You don't need business class comfort. You have zero baggage. You can risk everything, and if you crash and burn, you just start over. But at 40, the price of a mistake is a catastrophe. You can't bet the house where your kids sleep. You become a coward by necessity. So listen to me closely. Start paying your future tax. 20% of every dollar you make goes straight into investments. Act like that money doesn't exist. Kill the consumer inside you. Carry an old phone, but keep Apple stock in your portfolio. Never borrow for liabilities, not even once, no matter how bad you want it. Master risk management, switch jobs, launch businesses, fail fast while you're young. Audit your circle. If your friends only want to grab beers every Friday instead of discussing ideas, get new friends. You can turn off this video right now and go back to scrolling. The system will love you for it. It needs new slaves to pay off mortgages until they hit the grave. It needs perfect consumers with no memory and no future. But if you have even a drop of fire left in you, a shred of desire to be more than just biomass, start building your dam today. The water is rising, and when the crisis breaks the levee, only those with a raft will survive. The rest, they're just fish food. I'm not promising it'll be easy. I'm promising it'll be honest.